What's up, y'all? Y'all are listening to Living Corporate's flagship podcast. If you didn't know, Living Corporate helps organizations build employee engagement and market trust through data analytics and data transformation, our e-learning platform, and brand marketing storytelling. We're so excited for you to be here today. The conversation you're about to hear is going to connect the dots between employee experience and go-to-market effectiveness. If you're not ready, get ready. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my gracious. We have the incomparable, the one, the only, Bevin Biggers on Living Corporate Podcast. Bevin, I feel like, first of all, it's wild because we haven't, I'm thinking about, it feels just like yesterday we was doing photo shoots, but that was like 5 years ago. It was like 6 years ago.
No, longer than that.
Might have been because it was before the pandemic.
It was damn near 10 years ago almost.
No,
2018.
2017, 2018. I'm about to go look at the time stamps in these photos. But it's legit been like 8 years though. How you been doing, friend?
Still chaotic, but we grow. We grow in the spaces where there's soil. So, I'm working on it, kind of not, but we're here.
Oh my gosh. Okay. It's interesting. I feel like since I've known you, you've been a creative. I think what excites me about Living Corporate is I like talking to folks. I like talking to folks who exist who exist locally around me in this entrepreneurial, creative space, right? Ever since I've known you, you've constantly been on the move, right? Like between the work that you do in spirits and in alcohol and hospitality to entertainment, right? Like you got your influencer bag, you be on the news. Like, talk to me about this brand that you've built. And if you were to summarize it or describe it, to somebody who was meeting you for the first time, how would you describe that brand?
I always have a hard time explaining it because I like doing a bunch of stuff. It's so hard for me to focus on one thing. That's a good thing, and it's also a bad thing. I think that working in hospitality kind of paid my bills and carried me throughout, but I don't think it was my end all be all. I think I did that as a survival thing, but also I was really good at it. But my personality is really big, and I've always been a creative. I've always liked to build. I've always liked to create. I just was always looking for the time and the space to comfortably do it. Because when you're working at a bar, you're going bar to bar to bar to bar, working doubles, working all the time. You just kind of push all of the things that you want to do to the side because you're in this hustle all the time. But my personality has always been big. I've always been pretty much, I would say, an activist. Naturally, I've always been that way. And I'm a very 10 toes down about what I'm saying. Okay, so if I feel a certain way, I'm going to fight for it. And I've been blackballed many a times, but I wouldn't call myself a roach. What's a good word to use? I'm always going to come back.
You're resilient.
Okay.
You're a phoenix.
I'm always going to come back. So I would say a phoenix. I would say I'm a phoenix, right? I believe in constantly going, trying new things. And after I had this long-term relationship, when I was in it, I wasn't doing anything creative. I wasn't sewing. I wasn't building. I was literally just looking for myself. And the moment that I started to focus on myself and left that situation, I became the first artist in residency for the city of Sugar Land, building this 8-foot Afro pick. And then my friends were like, since when did you start building? I'm like, I've always actually known how to build. I'm just into that right now. Or my 30th birthday, out of the blue, I just made myself a dress for my birthday. And then the person at the time was like, since when did you know how to sew? I said, I just always knew how to do it. So it's just me trying to figure out how to put all of these skills into one place. And then with my personality, obviously, TV. They're like, you should do TV. You should do TV. You should do TV. I said, okay, so who's going to give me the show? Okay, that costs moolah, 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 moolah. So yeah, when I tell people what I do, I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm writing a book. I like to build and fabricate, and I like to talk. I'm maybe an ebony Martha Stewart.
You're a mocha Martha Stewart.
Mocha, yeah. Caramel delight. Caramel deluxe, like Wu-Tang would say.
So it's interesting, right? Because, I think about this idea of what I notice about you is you grow through building, right? There are people who are able just to kind of sit down, do what they're told, and kind of just follow a process and routine day in, day out for years. And there's other folks who just get really bored quickly. And for them, they learn through doing. They learn through innovating and breaking things and creating things. I think it's really interesting to meet someone who's who's doing that and like also not like uber wealthy. Because typically that's a privilege afforded to people who have the money to kind of what you alluded to earlier. Like, you know, like it takes time. You need money to afford the time to even search and identify what it is you like to do and what you know what beats your drum. And so I guess I'm curious for you. You listed so many different things between like hard actually like real fabrication of creating physical things to creating experiences to being a TV personality. How do you navigate that? Like, how do you navigate maintaining that, like, in this economic context? Because it would seem as if there would be a lot of pressure to, like, I don't know, like Uber or DoorDash or try to look for some, you know, low paying, like a steady paying job. Like, how do you manage the pressures of this ecosystem that you've built for yourself?
I don't date, so that helps. I really do think that men take a lot of focus from me in a bad way. That's number one. And I don't have kids. I have a dog. I am a single mother of a fur baby. I still do my gigs. And since I've done it so long, I don't even have to really go online and constantly promote it. So that's helped. So I do teach cocktail classes. I do bartend still. And right now, yeah, I mean, I still get a good amount of gigs. So I'm very lucky that people still reach out to me and constantly give me these opportunities. So I wouldn't say that I'm struggling in that part. And then I also know how to live. I know how to make everything. I know how to cook everything. So, I mean, I don't really have to spend that much. But currently, right now, I'm working on a book, my cocktail book with my homegirl, Rosebeth, which you introduced me to from our photo shoot.
Rosebeth is cool.
So
let's talk about the
amazing.
cocktail book, right? So, I mean, first of all, again, some years now, you know cocktails, you know spirits. Talk to me about what inspired the book, though, because like plenty of people have passion about drinks and stuff. It's a different thing to like put a book together. Like, what was the journey to do that?
Okay, so basically the book is based on a concept that I've wanted in a bar years ago, which is a bar that we grow in-house aphrodisiacs, and we base the cocktails off of the sexual response cycle. So the cocktail book itself is based on the sexual response cycle, and it has a narrative.
Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on.
I know. So it's not a regular cocktail book.
All right, wait a minute, y'all. So, hey, mom and dad, I didn't know we was going here. You know what I'm saying? But we here now. No, it's all good. I just didn't know. So what you building it? So break it down, like slow it down. Help me understand what you mean.
I will. So I did win a grant with Houston Art Alliance for this, so it's not explicit, but basically this is a cocktail book based on the sexual response cycle, which starts with desire, arousal, orgasm, and resolution. This is how we base the start to the end.
What is resolution?
Resolution is like aftercare, the aftermath. The cool down period.
Okay, got it.
Afterward.
I didn't know that it was called.
I mean, I think there's other words for it, but I use resolution because it's just, clean. So I based the cocktail book off of that. And I wanted a bar, a really tiny, quaint, dark bar where our cocktails were based on the sexual response cycle and aphrodisiacs as well. But the cool thing about the book is that you learn a lot. It's still a cocktail book. You still learn about tools, glassware. You learn about aphrodisiacs. You do hear from real people, real women that talk about their experience with sex because there are negative connotations. I do talk about being a Black woman and how modesty came from chattel slavery, the caricatures, stereotypes, etc. So you get this narrative, these beautiful images, you still get the cocktails, you still learn how to make exotic garnishes and different things like that. But you also learn a little bit about the goods and the bad when it comes to sex from a Black woman's
This is
perspective.
so fire. So you have merged, or rather you're affirming Black woman liberation and sexual affirmation, and you're then pairing that with a cocktail experience.
Yes.
That's fire. Okay. You know what? That's so creative. I'm like, and again, we did not do pre-production. So you telling me all this in real time. I didn't know that's what your book was about. That is incredible. So I think my follow-up question is, obviously you see this being like some type of show, like a limited series. Like if Vice was still around, Vice would have picked this up immediately.
But I love Vice. Oh my God. And I'm printing it locally. So, I mean, if I had to print more, I would. And this is, I do want to say, because I'm going to talk about it when the book is finally finished. It should be, I'm writing the index. Oh my God. Fighting for my life. Anyways, everything else is done. But there is a reason why in the third chapter, which is orgasm, why you only see my face and you don't see the guy's face there because of the orgasm gap. We still have one. So when I did a poll in a questionnaire for women to answer questions, there were a bunch of women who still have not experienced an orgasm, which is crazy. And it's sad, actually, to me. And I meet women in my family. Now that I'm grown, we can have conversations. You have 3 kids and you've never experienced that. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. This is exactly why, with the narrative portion of the book, it's me meeting a person at a bar and we get closer, blah, blah, blah. And then we go through the chapters. And this is why I took him out of the third chapter altogether. We didn't even shoot for that, me and him, because I need women to understand that you deserve to have this. You're not doing this for somebody else. It's a mutual experience. So this is why I cut him out of that chapter altogether.
That is fire. I think I'm so taken aback at the it's a narrative journey with what's the word, not imbibables, but with drinks with the cocktails involved. But through the narrative journey, you're doing all these other pieces where you're affirming identity, you're rejecting the patriarchy. That is incredible. I'm curious, like, in this landscape, right, in this political landscape, do you feel like this was something that you were going to put out at the period? Or do you feel like you were particularly inspired because of all of the attacks on women's reproductive rights and other things happening in the world? Or is it like, irrespective, this was coming out right now? Like, talk to me about that.
Well, it was, I created this idea in like 2015. Oh, wow. However, it was not a book. It was just a concept for a bar. Oh, wow. So when I won the grant with Houston Art Alliance, and I'm like, we're going to do a narrative with the cocktails and et cetera. As I was putting the cocktails and the images and stuff together, and then even before I even shot for the orgasm portion, I was just like, I think this needs to be healing and uplifting, especially now. So now that we're in this climate, this political climate, that's when I started to navigate it even more to focus on like womanhood, and they're trying to take away birth control. They've already gotten rid of abortion, and that includes medical abortion, right? Taking away birth control. They're trying to take away, what is it, with marriage?
Marriage equality? Interracial marriage? Gay marriage?
No. No. Basically, you can't leave your marriage no matter what's going on. What's the term called? I forgot what it's called.
No fault divorce.
No fault. They're trying to get rid of no fault marriage. So it's like we're going backwards. We're going so backwards. And this is not good for men either, not. Right? A man can't grow if women are not happy. It needs to be a mutual experience.
Listen,
and it has to be mutual.
And like, it's just so interesting when you think about these systems, right? So like white supremacy, the patriarchy, capitalism, imperialism, militarism, which is really output of imperialism, but whatever. These different things, homophobia, transphobia, like these things hurt everybody. Like I think there's this idea that like, oh, this only hurts the oppressed. It's like, well, it hurts the oppressed, hurts the oppressor too. Like if I'm, to your point, if all we do is center my needs, then how do I grow as a person? How do I, like, what does my self-awareness look like? Who holds me accountable? Like I'm gonna eventually I'm gonna diminish over time because I'm not getting the partnership inside. I think about me and my wife. My wife and I have been married for 12 years. And like, if it wasn't for her being able to be her full self and have her own voice, there's a bunch of stuff that wouldn't have happened in my life personally, like selfishly in my life. Right. Mm-hmm. If there wasn't some type of, mutual respect and shared respect and commitment to making sure that everyone's needs are met, then like,
I'm not having a good time in general.
And who wants that?
You know what's so crazy? Wait, can I
Go
say
ahead.
something else? Zach? You know what's so funny? Whenever we're talking about like homophobia and all this other stuff and what's
Mhm.
not natural, I always refer back to the animal kingdom. They be gay as
They be
shit.
gay out there.
Gay orgies, you
They
name
do a lot of
it.
gay stuff.
I mean, the dark side is like necrophilia,
There's a lot. There's a
necrophilia,
lot. There's a
yuck.
lot. No, there's a
But
lot going on.
you look at
In
the animal kingdom, I'm just like, you talk about natural and nature. Nature is what nature does. I'm just like, have you met other species? They are frolicking like a
no, no,
boy. Let me
no.
tell you.
You're not wrong. And I think that I think we're experiencing it right now. Like so many people are starving right now because folks decided white supremacy was more important than eating. Like they decide.
Hmm. But still blaming and then still blaming my people for
One
what's
thousand
going on.
percent.
Still blaming. You know what?
No, no, no.
Hey,
I mean, you're right. Like these,
but
but you're right. Like I mean, like people are being disappeared and thrown in the vans right now because they wanted to feel like they had power over other people. But like now, like all of our rights are being infringed upon. So no,
but see, I mean, I already said it was going to happen. It was going to end up happening anyways. They weren't going to just stop at one demographic,
no,
baby. They definitely want to come
no,
for
it's
us.
1,000%. I mean, well, like to that point, we're represented in all these other demographics. Like when you want to talk about picking up Latino people, okay, well, there's Afro Latinos too. Okay, well, you want to talk about
Yes.
Islanders, okay, well, they're Black Islanders.
When they were talking about Haitians, I'm like, me and you could be
I
Haitians
literally,
because
y'all.
I said this what in
Yes, I
April or
remember.
March. I said that you see that they're focusing on Haitians, and the thing about them is they don't know the difference. They're just going to pick
Yeah,
whoever's black.
I was like, you can't tell.
All these diaspora wars and all this,
Distraction.
you're
You're
still black.
black.
Okay,
I
you're
think
still
that's
black.
the.
You're
I
still
think
black.
they just got. Well, I mean, obviously we know about the apartment raid in Chicago. They also just got a black man in Chicago who was accused of being Angolan, and so it's like hey guys, like this is just not like there was never the time. Like I think all that FBA stuff is a psyop. I mean, there's some CIA COINTELPRO stuff.
Yeah, they're insane. They said that I was a
They did
tether.
say that. I remember that. It was like they all know. Y'all don't know her.
He said I'm a racially ambiguous Latina.
I remember that, which is so funny because it's like that further proves the point that we're all much more connected than we are separated. You calling a black woman a racially ambiguous Latina is crazy.
It's crazy.
Anywho,
That's not even important.
it was funny though.
But I mean, I was crying
It was
laughing. I ain't
funny.
gonna lie, because the internet is so unreal, but it's
Yeah,
real.
true.
Because I can't say that the internet is not real because those opinions go into
Correct.
real life.
A real
And
person
real life
wrote that.
things can happen. So we got to stop saying that.
Yes.
But no. Back to the book because I can talk about what's going on right
Yes.
now all day. No, I'm really happy that I went this route, and I'm really happy that the Houston Art Alliance was like, because it's a very controversial topic anytime we're talking about sex.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted it to be an approach where whoever comes in to a tasting or wants to see the book and they're a younger woman or even a young man, that mutual pleasure is extremely important, and it makes the whole experience better.
Mm-hmm.
It makes the whole experience better. So, it's an approachable way to go in there and read, because what I do talk about in there is trying to learn about sex, because I couldn't learn through my family. They weren't going to tell me. They're just going to say, don't do it. Right. Because I'm a girl, double standards,
Mm-hmm.
blah, blah, blah. So I'm learning from MySpace and Google and online and strangers. And that's extremely dangerous. It's extremely dangerous to learn about something like that through strangers, because any stranger can tell you anything. True. And you're gullible and you're young and you don't know how to filter that information.
There's something to be said about like just education in this time, in this space of, so my wife is an educator. My mother's been an educator. She's been in education for the past like 38 years. And so like, it's scary when you talk about sexual education, reproductive health and education. It's just they're cratering right now, right? We're seeing school boards being taken over and like just young people are not learning. And then those young people turn to young adults who are out in the world who literally don't know how to navigate relationship. And so there's something extremely genuine and intimately powerful about creating that kind of experience. I'm genuinely just like so shocked at like the concept, but it's super fire. Talk to me about the release of, first of all, what's the name of the book?
Oh, the name of the book is called Afro, and it's short for
Fire.
aphrodisiac.
And then when is the book coming out?
So this week should be the final, like I'm doing my first round print. So once I see it, it's cut. We go through any kind of issues with the book because it's a hardcover book. It's sewn. It's a lot going on. So hand sewn, like it's quality book. It's not some fast print. I found somebody over wherever. It's being printed in Houston. I'm going to be there in person watching it be print. So hopefully the final book is next week. If it's not next week, it's the following week or maybe like later in the week. But it's definitely being printed this month.
Then it's sounding like Christmas time, and then early Q1 is when we should expect it.
Yes.
Wow. Well, look.
Yes. I wanted to have my events during December, but I might push it to January. Yeah. There's so much going on with the flights, and that's a whole thing. This shutdown it's not affecting the printing, but it's definitely a domino effect of a lot of issues going on. And I want to make sure that I'm mindful of people's capacity to show up. So I'm trying to figure out ways to do that. And my events will be free, but I want to make sure that I'm showing up for my community where we can meet. I can meet them where they are, and vice versa.
Bevin, I appreciate you, right? Like, one thing about, since we've known each other, you're consistent. Like, I know what I'm going to get when I hit you up. We started this thing off because I wanted to talk to somebody who's navigating this space, because right now there's so many people who are looking for jobs, right? There's so many people trying to figure out, they're trying to reinvent themselves. They're trying to identify what the next thing is. And like, here you are, and you've carved out something for yourself that's still thriving despite the economy being in a really rough place, right? And I recognize some of that is your natural gifting, that's favor and access and privilege. There's elements of that in everybody's story. However, I do hope that there's people who are listening who might be in the middle of a job search trying to figure out what to do. And maybe this takes us a point of inspiration.
Do a study. I'm going to give you some real tea. If you're out there struggling right now and you're very healthy, like your heart is good. This is me sidebarring. Do a clinical trial. Trust me.
You was on the clinical trial?
I've done them to get out of bad situations, pay off certain things. If you are in between, do a clinical trial, look it up. Be healthy. Don't smoke. Don't drink. Do a clinical trial if you're in between and you're struggling right now.
Fire.
And, do that. Trust. They have them for 20 racks, 10 racks, 13 racks, 15 racks. If you're out of a job, there's always ways to make money.
Hold on.
Okay?
You and I are going to talk off mic about that 40 rack clinical trial.
You got to be gone for a while, but it's worth it. You got them babies.
I can't be away.
No, but there's ways to make money. And then also I do want to say, like, I know that we always have this online commentary about calling people broke and they work here, they work at Chipotle, or he blue collar. First off, a blue collar man is fine as fuck. Let me be really clear. But also, don't do that. In this economy right now, especially, you do not get cool points for being in a better position. Okay. If you're working and you're making money, don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed to get that job. If I see my homie working at McDonald's and they were working at some executive place, I don't care. Work. Get your money. Some of y'all have big egos and pride, and that's what's actually keeping you in a bad position. You got to be okay with a little sacrifice. Okay. Don't let this fool you. I'll work. If I got to work at Family Dollar, that's where I'm going to be working. Do you understand me? Unless you're going to give me the money, your girl is going to be working. So stop. And y'all stop shaming people. You don't get no cool points, jerk.
You're right. No, you're 100% right. And the reality is, I've had this conversation with a bunch of different people of various economic standing. And I'm like, the reality is wrong. Like, if you're not broke right now, you're like one phone call away from being broke. And to me also, broke is if you lose your job and you got to figure out how to pay your bills, you was broke before that. like we are.
Even people who are not broke, or if they lost a job, they aren't broke in that time period. The problem is we live in a society where a lot of people are working under these monopolies, right? And if Amazon or Schlumberger decides that, you know what? He was right about the DEI stuff. Y'all can all go. Look at what's happening with CBS.
You want decision away.
Your high paying job, you can go too. So don't ever think it can't be you. I've seen it. I would volunteer at homeless shelters where I'm feeding doctors. Wow. You understand? You are not the exception to the rule.
Bevin dropping the real tea today. The Earl Grey, no sugar and no cream, just the leaves in the water. I received it. Listen, Bevin, I feel like we could talk forever. I'm excited about your book. I'm excited about Afro. Where can people engage you to learn more and keep up to date with what's going on? Obviously, when Afro comes out, you're going to come back. But like, where can people engage and stay up to date with what you got going on?
Just follow on Instagram. Don't follow me on Twitter to get any information because I'm extremely chaotic on there. And if you're judgmental, you will be like, this lady is very wild. I am. Instagram is the best place to follow up with any information about the book because during this week is when we're going to be getting constant stuff. And you will see it in some papers too. That's on pause because I haven't gotten the first print yet. So my Instagram is the best way to be updated on the book and everything going on with it and for any events coming up. So my Instagram is OHBEVIN, Bevin. And yeah, that's how you follow up. And I'm so happy that you have me on. Finally, that's halfway my fault.
It's okay. I understand. You too busy. Like, I feel like I saw you was in the picture. You be like you outside, right? Real talk. Like, so I get it.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
No, not me. It's been Bevin Biggers, speaker, influencer, activist. Yeah, she be outside. I've seen Bevin outside at the rallies that you be acting like you at. You know what I'm saying? Cocktail enthusiast, mixologist, and just overall dope person, creative. The list goes on and on. Till next time, y'all. Well, in the meantime, check the link in the show notes. Keep up with Bevin. It's Bevin on Instagram. Till next time, peace, y'all.
Living Corporate is a podcast by Living Corporate LLC. Our logo was designed by David Dawkins. Our theme music was produced by Ken Brown. Additional music production by Antoine Franklin for Musical Elevation. Post-production is handled by Jeremy Jackson. Got a topic suggestion? Email us at livingcorporatepodcast@gmail.com. You can find us online on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and living-corporate.com. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned.